All right, let's get right into it. You know how we're always told that if you want massive change, you need massive action? You need this huge burst of motivation? Well, what if that's not just wrong, but the exact opposite of what actually works? What if the biggest transformations come from small, quiet, almost boring habits? That's what we're going to break down today. These are the powerful little habits that can completely reshape your life by 2026. Let's just start with this because it's a huge one. Motivation is a total trap. Think about it. It's an emotion, right? It's fickle. It shows up one day and is completely gone the next. Trying to build your life on motivation is like trying to build a house on quicksand. It's the exact reason why New Year's resolutions are a joke by February and why so many of our big goals just fizzle out. It feels amazing when it's there, but you just can't count on it. So if that big wave of inspiration isn't the answer, then what is? Well, the alternative isn't about hype or some grand dramatic gesture. It's about having a system. It's about building a framework that works for you even on the days you feel completely flat, the days you have zero motivation. And that is exactly the path we're about to walk down. Okay, so before you can build anything that's actually going to last, you've got to have a solid foundation. These first few habits, they're not flashy, they're not going to get a million likes on Instagram, but they are the absolute, non-negotiable groundwork. This is what creates the stability you need for real, sustainable change. First one up is the daily review. Now, this is not about spending an hour journaling your deepest feelings. It's way simpler. It's a powerful 5-minute process at the end of your day where you just take an honest look back. What went well? What didn't? And what's one tiny little adjustment I can make for tomorrow? That's it. 5 minutes. And this is where the magic of that simple 5 minutes really shows up. It lets you make tiny course corrections immediately, so a little mistake today doesn't spiral into a huge disaster a month from now. It builds this incredible self-awareness, and it forces you to actually notice and celebrate the small wins, which, trust me, fuels you way more consistently than motivation ever will. All right, habit number 2 is kind of a quiet rebellion in this crazy world we live in. It's called single tasking. It's just the simple, focused practice of giving your full attention to one thing at a time. We've all been sold this myth that multitasking makes you a productivity genius. The reality, it just makes you busy, scattered, and tired. And the payoff here is huge. When you truly single task, you can get into a state of deep focus that is just impossible when you're juggling 5 things at once. The quality of your work, it goes through the roof. And maybe just as important, you finish your day with so much less mental burnout. You are literally retraining your brain's ability to concentrate in a world that's trying to tear it apart. Now this one might sound a little weird at first. Strategic boredom. This just means you intentionally create little pockets in your day where you do nothing. No phone, no music, no podcasts. Just you and your thoughts. You know, when you're waiting in line for coffee or walking to your car, those are perfect opportunities to just be bored. And here's why this is such a game changer. Our brains do some of their absolute best work when we're not actively working. That's when creativity strikes. It's when your mind finally connects the dots on a problem that's been bugging you. You start to break that addiction to constant input, and you actually create the space for your own original thoughts to show up. Okay, so we've laid the foundation. Now we get to the real core of this whole thing. This next habit is the linchpin. It's the one thing that makes all the other habits 10 times more powerful. And honestly, it's the piece of the puzzle that almost everybody misses. I'm serious. If you think of those first 3 habits as the engine and the wheels of a car, this next one is the steering wheel. Without it, you've got all this power, but you're just spinning in circles. It's called identity shifting. Here's the deal. True, lasting change isn't about the thing you want to achieve, it's about the person you want to become. So instead of focusing on the outcome, like running a marathon, you focus on the identity, the type of person who just naturally does that. You start by changing what you believe about yourself. Just look at the difference here. It's night and day. Goal-based thinking says, I will run a marathon. It's some event off in the future. But identity-based thinking says, I am a runner. See the difference? A runner runs. That's just what they do. So every short jog, every time you lace up your shoes, isn't about one single event. It's a little vote you cast that proves and reinforces your new identity. So this identity-shifting idea sounds great, but how do you actually make it stick? How do you prove to your own brain that this new identity is real? Well, these final 3 habits are the practical, hands-on tools designed to do exactly that. They lock in the change until it just becomes who you are. Habit number 5 is environment design. This is all about consciously shaping your physical space and even your digital space to make your new identity the easiest possible choice. If you want to be a reader, don't just have books on a shelf, put one right on your pillow. If you want to be healthier, put the fruit bowl on the counter and hide the cookies. You're making your new identity the path of least resistance. It's not about willpower, it's about making the right choice the lazy choice. Next up is the absolutely brilliant 2-minute rule. Whatever new habits you want to start, just shrink it down until it takes less than 2 minutes to do. Read 30 pages a day becomes read 1 page. Go to the gym for an hour becomes put on my workout clothes. The point isn't the workout itself, it's the act of starting. It's about casting another vote for your new identity. Every time you do it, you prove to yourself, yep, I'm the type of person who shows up. And finally, reflective journaling. Now wait, this is different from the daily review we talked about. The daily review is tactical, it's about course correction. This is about confirmation. You are actively hunting for evidence that proves you are becoming that person. You write it down. Today I chose a salad over fries. Today I walked for 10 minutes. You're literally building a case file that proves to your brain that this new identity is real. And all of this brings us to what might be the most important takeaway from this whole thing. Real, genuine, lasting change isn't loud. It doesn't show up with a marching band in a parade. It happens quietly, in the background, in all those small, consistent, boring little choices that you make every single day. The world wants us to believe in the overnight success story, the dramatic breakthrough. But the truth, the real truth, is that transformation is silent. It's the sum of thousands of tiny, unseen decisions that compound over time, until one day you just look in the mirror and you realize, without any fanfare, that you've actually become the person you always hoped you'd be. So where do you start? You start small. Please don't try to do all 7 of these at once. That's just a recipe for failure. Just look at this list and ask yourself one simple question. Which one of these, if I started it today, would make the biggest difference for me? Pick one. Just one. Commit to it. What is the first quiet step you're going to take?